Hi. So I'm just gonna make a quick video to give my personal experience as far as how I treat and manage my fibromyalgia. So I've had fibromyalgia for about 2 years, and my symptoms are widespread muscle and joint pain. So it could be anywhere from my upper arms, my lower back, upper back, my legs, and yeah, it's pretty debilitating. I get flare-ups almost every day, if not every other day. And I mean, sometimes it kind of just stops me in my track, and it's really hard to function with that level of pain. In addition to that, I also have these pretty bad migraines that I get fairly frequently. Um, Again, almost every day, if not every other day. And thirdly, I have a lot of IBS issues that I have to deal with as well. So those are my main symptoms with fibromyalgia, and I have a pretty severe form of fibromyalgia um, because I have to deal with severe muscle pain, joint pain, um, very bad headaches, IBS issues, um, of course, brain fog every once in a while, and of course, all of this also kind of leads to depression, which is also something that after my fibromyalgia diagnosis I've had to deal with. So I would say those are my main symptoms. Fatigue, I do have it, but it's definitely not as intense as other people with fibromyalgia. I think it's mainly just dealing with everything else that causes fatigue. But so those are my main symptoms. I'll just briefly try to explain what I take now, and which ones I find helpful, which ones I don't really find that helpful, which ones I just started taking. So I can't really say much about them. But I mean, I can only say why I decided to take them and what I hope to gain from them. So the first medication that I started taking, it's called duloxetine, which is an antidepressant. It's an SNRI. Um, it helps with my mood, um, my depression, and it also somewhat helps with just the intensity of the headaches and the muscle pain. I take 40 milligrams, which is about 2 tablets, and I've been taking that for quite a while. And about a month or so ago, I tried to get off of it because I didn't think it was helping me anymore. I mean, I still had a severe fibromyalgia pain, but when I got off of it, I realized that it was helping me because the pain was even more intense when I got off of it. The depression was more intense. Everything became more intense after I got off of it. So that's when I realized, oh, okay, well, maybe it was actually working for me. So I do recommend taking that one if you haven't. Um, there are some side effects to it, but for the most part, I haven't had much of them. And I've been taking it for so long that I think my body just kind of got used to it. So it's a pretty helpful medication. Um, if my fibromyalgia pain was from between a 1 and a 10, I would say it was maybe a 7 or 8 before. And with duloxetine, it brings it down to maybe a 6. That's not saying that it does. I don't have flare-ups that shoot it back up to an 8, but they're not as frequent as they were before I started taking this medication. So I do find it helpful. The next medication that I started taking is gabapentin. So yeah, I take about 900 milligrams, which is a lot. So it's about 3 tablets, one in the morning, afternoon, and dinner time. I've been taking this for about a month. Um, it does help with the pain, but the only problem is that it also kind of slows down just your basic functions. Like I realize that while on it, like it kind of gives me mood swings. It kind of slows down my coordination, and I can't think as clearly while I'm on it. So that's definitely a huge negative on gabapentin. But I mean, it does help with the pain, so you kind of have to outweigh the pros and the cons. Of course, you don't want to lose your mental capability to get some pain relief, but it's you learn kind of how to manage it, kind of how to find that equilibrium. So it's like with the dosage and with like how much pain relief you can get with how much quantity of like milligrams you're taking with the least amount of side effects. So I think I've stopped at 900 milligrams, and people go up to like, I don't know, 2600 milligrams. So I mean, there's a lot of room there to take. So I mean, but you should give it a try. I mean, it does help. If anything, just take the smallest dosage and see if that helps you. The third thing that I tried, and this was prescribed not by a doctor but by a naturopath doctor. It's called low dose Naxitrin, and I just started taking this about a week ago because I heard a lot of good anecdotal evidence with people with fibromyalgia that get a lot of benefit from this. And pretty much what this does is it makes the body produce more natural endorphins, which is natural painkillers, and with that, it hopefully helps with pain. And so I just started taking this. I don't know if it works. I'll give it about a couple more months before I can actually say whether it works or not, but I mean, I'm very hopeful about it. With my IBS issues, I take enteric-coated peppermint tabs. Just take 2, one in the morning and one at nighttime. It also helps with my IBS issues. It helps as far as like giving more regularity to my bowel movements, which is a huge issue with my fibromyalgia. So it does help to some extent. And again, all of this medication, it helps to some extent, but it's definitely not the cure-all. And it's definitely, some medication works for a little bit, then stops working, which is a huge headache. Because, I mean, if duloxetine worked from the beginning, and if it worked greatly, then I wouldn't have done gabapentin. And if gabapentin worked, then I wouldn't have gone to LDN, low-dose Naxitrin. And you know, you keep trying other things to see what gives you that pain relief to to function, until I kind of not have to think about the pain all the time, which is really annoying. So it's I mean, it helps to some extent, but also don't be unrealistic and assume that it's going to cure it, because it's not. I mean, a lot of that comes with, therapy that I've gone through, which helped me with pain management and just kind of not letting the pain really get to me. Like being able to function with the pain, with the headaches, with the widespread muscle pains and the IBS. So anyways, but that medication helps. That's what I'm taking now. And also, in addition to that, I mean, I live in Oregon, so it's legal to buy marijuana. And so I take daily, twice a day, this thing called cannabis oil, and it comes in a syringe like this. And I get the 1-to-1, which is 0.5% THC, 0.5% CBD. And I just take a little droplet, put it on my finger, and it really helps with giving me pain relief. It really helps with my mood, depression, and it just kind of helps me with a whole bunch of issues related to my fibromyalgia. And so if you haven't taken cannabis oil, I never took marijuana before I was diagnosed, but it's definitely been a savior. Like, it's helped me more than any other medication has helped me, and it has no side effects. I mean, yeah, occasionally you can maybe take a little bit too much and feel a little bit drowsy or a little bit high, but I mean, it's not going to give you it's not going to do any organ damage, or it's not going to kill you. So yeah, I really recommend taking cannabis oil. And just in addition to all of that, the medication that I'm taking, I did change up my diet a lot. I mean, I don't, no red meat, no dairy, no gluten, lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, lots of just really healthy food, no processed food. And I believe that did help with my IBS issues and just kind of making me feel a little bit healthier, giving me energy. And I did that from the beginning. Like, I changed my diet dramatically once all of this started happening, once I started getting my first symptoms, and once I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So diet, it plays a big role, and exercise as well. So I know some days it's pretty hard to exercise, especially when the pain is really bad, and when the fatigue is really bad, and when the depression is really bad. But on those days that you have the energy, you can do it. I take advantage of that, and I don't do crazy weightlifting or anything like that. But I do run when I can, when I have the energy, and a big one that I do is I swim. So I try to swim almost every other day, and that has been the best exercise for me, because it's just kind of a full body workout. It kind of forces my body to move, And it really helps with my mood. Swimming helps with my mood, and it also helps with just a little bit of like the pain relief as well. So that's everything that I do now. And again, this was all over with the span of 2 years. So I know if you just got diagnosed, you're like, whoa, that's a lot of medication. But I did gradually increase to this amount in 2 years. And I will say that when I first got diagnosed, I mean, I thought I had a brain tumor with headaches. I thought I wasn't going to be able to walk anymore because everything was just like my legs were just, I couldn't even feel them anymore. Like it was just so painful. So again, my fibromyalgia was is very severe and intense. And so, but I can say now it's not as intense, and it's definitely a little bit more manageable than it once was. And I think that's a lot thanks to my lifestyle changes and as well as some of the medications. And with that being said, I mean, it does help and it does get better. And there are a lot of treatments available. Like this is probably all the treatments that are available for fibromyalgia, and I'm taking all of them. So the only thing that I will try in the future is I would like to experiment with mushrooms, because there's been a lot of anecdotal evidence that it helps with people with chronic pain, people dealing with depression. So that's the only thing that I will potentially take in the future. But other than that, I mean, maybe incorporate a little bit more exercises or a little bit more healthy stuff into my diet. But for the most part, I think I'm done with exploring treatments. I think I'm done with I guess trying to like get rid of the pain completely. I've kind of come to terms with the fact that I'll probably live with this for the rest of my life, and I'm okay with that because I've learned to manage it, I've learned to live with it, and I've learned to not let it control my life. Like I won't let it make me miss work all the time. I won't let it prevent me from hanging out with friends. But yeah, I mean, I still have those days where it's like the pain is so bad that it's just, there's nothing else you can do. But at least now I'm at a comfortable point where it's like I don't let it completely destroy me like I did in the beginning, which I'm sure most people do in the beginning too. So, I mean, that's what I'm taking now. That's all the medication I'm taking now. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment.